Hi, I'm Dr. Mel, and I'm on a mission to discover the people creating the biggest impact in our communities. Together, we'll meet the people behind the vision, see lives being changed, and celebrate the good all around us, because seeing the good is where change begins. Hi, friends. Today, I'm sitting here with Lauren, who is with Clayton Dabney, and we are going to dive into what they do as a nonprofit, what their heart is, how it transpired, and a little bit about giving and generosity. So thank you for joining us, and I'm excited to sit here with you, Lauren. So thank you for coming and giving of your time, truly. Thank you. So we're going to jump right in, and I'm going to put on my readers because this is where I am in life and I don't have context, but that's next. So do we like my readers?
Yes, official interview now.
Thank you. Yes, it's official. I feel kind of official.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about you? Just what brought you here to Clayton Dabney?
Yes, well, I started Clayton Dabney for Kids with Cancer. I started there 17 years ago. It had already been well established. I know.
Were you 10?
No, I'm 40 now, so it's been Clayton Dabney has been a huge part of my life, half of my life. Since then, I've had different roles in the foundation, but I've been the program director for about 12 years now.
12 years is a very long time.
It is.
So thank you for the work you're doing.
Absolutely.
Tell us about the history of Clayton Dabney and how it transpired.
Absolutely. So Clayton was a 6-year-old boy. He, was a kindergartner at a local school here in Dallas. He was active, full of life, had siblings, and one day he told his mom and dad that his stomach was hurting. They kind of thought, nothing of it. Let's wait and take some medicine. It'll be fine. Mm-hmm. But a few days later, it got worse and worse and worse. Clayton was taken to Children's Medical here in Dallas, and just after his 6th birthday in February, he was diagnosed with rhabdomyosarcoma, which is a muscle tissue cancer. Tests were run. He had all of the, treatment protocols, chemotherapy. He lost his hair. As they got closer to September that year, they learned that he was not responding to the treatment. His cancer was going to defeat him. He would not make it. And so Scott and Shelby, his parents, decided they would pull out all the stops. They had the financial means to go to ball games, go to Disney World whenever he was feeling well enough and was between treatments. Friends and family were flown in from all over. They wanted to spend every last waking moment making memories that they could cling to after he died. So that's what Clayton wanted to. He loved having his family and friends near. He had a full hospital room with toys and books. But what Clayton noticed, and the whole reason behind our mission, is because of Clayton's wisdom at such a young age. He saw there's so many other children in the hospital that don't have friends and family nearby. They don't have toys in hospital out the years. So Clayton shared his. He would wheel his little hospital gowned self in his little oxygen tank, and he would go visit those in the hospital. And he would make sure that they weren't alone and they weren't without. And so his parents saw that kindness and that generosity and such wisdom at a 6-year-old little boy's age. And they wanted to carry that on. And they knew that their time was limited, but they wanted to carry on his legacy the best that they could. That's how Clayton Dabney was formed. Clayton passed away in September of 1995. Scott and Shelby gathered around their dining room table shortly thereafter and said, we have got to do something about these kids that are alone in the hospital. And so the idea came about to start a nonprofit that would create memories for families who have a child that is not going to survive their cancer. And it was started in December of that year.
How many years ago was that?
30. 30? Been around for 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big milestone.
Wow. It's a big year.
Yes.
So do you feel like, as far as getting people involved and understanding what Clayton Dabney was about back then, what did that look like as far as the community goes, is what I'm thinking?
Right. So the community backed Scott and Shelby. They had 3 kids, so they, had all ages and were well connected at church and schools and everything like that. Scott's a businessman in real estate. So they had lots of local connections. So starting small in the Dallas area with such a big children's hospital to work with was I wouldn't say easy, but it was a great start. They had the support of so many friends and family to know that, of course, we're going to help Clayton's mission. Of course, we're going to support you. And the hospital was in great need. There was no one like Clayton Dabney at that point that helped at end of life. Several organizations help at diagnosis, but no one was, they would utilize all of their resources right at the beginning and then be floundering at the end. So that is where we come into play, is at end of life and when regular medicine is no longer an option.
Well, and I love that you're pointing that out because I think it's easy to overlook the end of life. Like you're saying, we use our resources in the beginning, the end of life, quality of life, and experiences.
Right.
What makes Clayton Dabney different than maybe other nonprofits that do something similar?
Sure. Well, there's two things that I think make us really stand out. Is first, like we just talked about, the end of life assistance. We are not limited to a specific type of assistance. It's just whatever would fall into the category of creating everlasting memories with your loved ones. And secondly, we are anonymous to the children that we serve. We don't need the credit. We don't need to be another person in this kiddo's life that they have to thank or remember, or that these parents have to, add to their to-do list. We want to be a silent, anonymous relief for these families when we can. And so when possible, these children have no idea who we are, so that their parents are the heroes. Mom, why didn't you have to go to work today? Well, that's not, don't worry about that, but I'm here now.
How do you find your clients? How do you decide who receives from Clayton Dabney?
We have an application process.
Okay.
It's very detailed so that we know the patient's history and make sure that they qualify for our assistance, but it's also very quick and easy. Our social workers that we work with are the ones who are the true resource. They are the go-between between us and the families, so that we are able to remain and keep that anonymity.
Wow. So they're the ones that deliver the message,
Yes.
the good news.
Yes.
Okay.
I know that you've just gotten this horrible news.
Yeah.
There's a little glimmer of relief for you.
Yes. And so what does that look like? Can you tell me some examples of when y'all have been able to come in and bless a family?
Yes. I can tell you an example of an 8-year-old that we got a referral for. It was earlier this spring, and he was home on hospice, and he hated his hospital bed that he had at home. It was scary, it was uncomfortable, but he was almost bedridden, so he had to be there all the time.
Yeah.
So his family asked if there was any way that we could do a room makeover. Well, of course we can.
Oh.
So they sent us a picture whenever it was kind of a side-by-side thing. They purchased some things or sent me, some options through Amazon and whatever else. So yes, we had to keep the hospital bed, but we did it up. We added a mattress, we added dinosaur sheets, we added fluffy pillows, curtains, all the stuffies, a little game system, that sort of thing, so that he would feel more comfortable in his environment where he was pretty much stuck. They sent us a picture with a smile on his face, and that's all they'd hoped for.
That is rewarding for you guys, because it's not easy what you're doing at all.
No, but it's so, for them to even remember to send a picture with a little thank you note was incredible.
How has what you've done, what you do, translate into your own family?
It puts a lot of things into perspective. The day-to-day struggle that we consider a struggle is put into check and reality check. The shuffle of football and baseball practice and everything. It makes me feel blessed to be a mom whose only stressor is, did we make it to practice on time? Or, oh gosh, does my child really need another fruit snack? Well, I don't know, but we're doing the best that we can and making the memories and clinging to those memories already, just because we don't know if we have tomorrow.
So do you find there's certain regions that you gravitate towards in the United States?
We only accept applications from hospitals in the United States. However, we don't turn down families who are international.
Okay.
Like if they come to the U.S. for treatment, because that we have so many great treatment facilities.
Yes.
St. Jude and Texas Children's in Houston. So we do have that opportunity to serve international families, but we just don't open the application up worldwide yet.
Okay, how do you guys keep your finances transparent? I started Googling around to different nonprofits and our personal experience. My husband and I, we've been we're kind of disenchanted with misuse of funds sometimes. So when you start pulling back the curtain, how do you guys remain transparent in this area when someone's working so hard to give their 10, 12, 15, 20% or however much people give? How do y'all remain transparent for the person wanting to dive deep into where it's going?
Well, starting small, we have a board of directors group that comes quarterly. They audit what I'm doing. They look at our financials, not in depth, but they look at our casework. Then on a larger scale, our entire organization, every single little thing is audited by a law or by an auditing company each year.
Which I did Google y'all's audit, by the way. You can look it up.
Yes, you can look it up. And we do post some things in our website. We do have the most recent forms, IRS forms and stuff that you can look up. But we're also an open book. If someone were looking to make a large donation or any donation, come ask us. We're happy to show you any information. But what we have prided ourselves on is for the past, well, as long as I can remember, we have done between 70 cents and 80 cents to every dollar has gone directly to our program expense.
That's impressive.
Which is a great number.
And I love your saying that because we're not going to know that.
No.
That's a big percentage.
Yes. There's only 3 employees.
Right.
So we keep that small. We've learned through experience to budget for events and things like that. and all of our board of directors are volunteers, which is so wonderful. But with 3 employees and a very small office expense, we are able to keep our costs very low.
One of the things, which you've already answered this question when I've been speaking with people that are in the nonprofit world, is catering to the client over the donor. You guys seem to be doing that so well.
Because we are anonymous, it's hard. People say, how can I get involved? How can I help? Well, really our involvement is with events or being on the board of directors. If you want to make a change or if you want to have a voice, join our board of directors. That is where most of the changes or input is made. But because also we have a program department, me, and then our events and fundraising department, Leslie and Kate, we are able to divide up and make sure our focus stays and isn't all convoluted.
Is there anything that you would recommend or that you've seen over the years with nonprofits in general that you would think, you know what, it might be cool to consider changing this or doing it that way? What are some things that you've learned along the way, that even changes you've implemented because of what you've seen in other nonprofits or experiences?
A change that we have been trying to implement and are still perfecting is ways to go viral to reach the most donors.
Okay.
And so something that we've done in our community is do a sign campaign. And I'm sure you've seen angels around town, and we have our Angels Among Us campaign kicking off in September for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So that's the way that we are, at least in our community, making sure that we can touch donors. And it's only $100 for an angel, but you can gift those to an angel in your life, someone who's impacted you in a special way. Others are doing very well is just using social media. It's an amazing tool. I think with us all being millennials and elder millennials in our organization, that is something that we're still learning.
It's the readers.
Yeah, we're still learning that. I think we could definitely do a better job, but there have been so many organizations, like remember the Ice Bucket Challenge?
Oh, yes.
That was amazing.
Yes.
Celebrities did it and things like that. So again, that is a struggle with us being anonymous. How great do you want to reach without also providing too much information on the families that you're serving?
Yes.
It's kind of a catch-22.
Which is also why you're here.
Yes.
Because I can't come see you guys.
Right.
I guess I could come sit in your office, but we wouldn't have the microphones.
That's true.
So you're right. It's hard to quantify. Someone I met with yesterday said, just come to us. Come see what we're doing. Come walk around with us. Come look at everything. We can't do that with you guys.
Right.
And so it's challenging, other than the stories you're telling us and the pictures you're allowed to share.
Right.
It might be a little more challenging, I would think, to involve the heart in the stories, because you can't.
It is. It's very difficult.
And they don't even know who's doing it.
No.
The families.
Right.
How have you seen like a small amount making a difference?
Our families, a $50 donation could go to fill up their tank of gas to get to the hospital, or a $100 donation could turn back on their electricity that's been turned off, or make sure that they are able to pay their cell phone so that they're able to communicate with their families about what's going on. These people are not, they're not looking for, well, sometimes they're able to go on trips, and we do provide trips to Disney, or we had one request last week for a family trip to a lake house. Any lake, we don't care. We just want to go have a memory by a lake. So there are extravagant ones, but most of our kiddos are so sick that the parents just want to have the flexibility to take time off work to be with their son or daughter at bedtime. side. So the small donations make a great impact because they add up to be so much for these families.
I love that you said that, because so often we think it's not going to make a difference. Thank you for saying that.
Well,
It's
and
so
the
important.
max assistance for our families, it's a one-time gift of $2,500. And whatever that capacity looks like, it's not all in the same place necessarily or spent all at the same time.
Okay.
We try to meet them where they are. This month, maybe the only bill they can find to give to us is their electricity bill. Well, we'll go ahead and make sure that that's paid. And we've still got $2,300 remaining. So let's be sure and utilize these funds. Okay, well, let's make a rent payment for next month. Absolutely.
How do you guys diversify where you fundraise? Like, how do you not keep going? Like you said, Dallas is a high percentage of the giving. How do you not keep going back to the same pot? Do you know what I'm saying? How do you diversify?
We kind of do go back to the same spot.
Okay, so
We would love to not
business
be going back to
plan wise,
Yes.
do
So
we diversify?
yes, we are reaching out to more and more companies. And as the board members age out or feel as though they're aging out, we are always replacing with younger and others who have been touched by Clayton Dabney's mission. So like the Love Luncheon, it touches more of a 30s to 40s age group. The Mahjong group is more of 30-year-old women. But then we have also a golf tournament in the fall that was our very first fundraiser. So I think this might be the 29th or 30th year of the golf. Let's say 28th of the golf tournament. And that is commercial real estate men.
Yeah.
And we're trying to break into other markets as well. We've got, tech firms and law firms and things like that. But it is hard not to go back to the same ones that are faithful donors because they've been so good to us.
I know. How do you continue seeing the good in life, in people, in circumstances, and in the world around you, in the midst of all you witness truly in the lives you're serving, like the pain, the hardships, the challenges? How do you continue seeing the good?
I heavily rely on my faith.
Okay, that's a good answer.
If I didn't have faith that God is still good, despite our fallen world and despite all of this sadness and this hurt, what point would I have it going on? And, making sure that there is funds for these families, because what would be the point? And also, I trust and I know that these families are dealing with such hurt and grief right now. Their son and their daughter is with their maker. They are in the best possible care, and they are singing and dancing with their maker. So that is how I see the good. And then I look at my two boys and my husband and know that this is where God has placed us for now. And I feel like this is my calling, and He's prepared my heart to be able to stand this. And so I'm so thankful.
Well, thank you. That's a beautiful answer. I can't think of a better one. So thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing. I'm hopeful that we're all just gaining some insight into this area of life, into your nonprofit, and into encouraging us to continue to see the good, even in the midst of a difficult and challenging world. Thank you.
Thanks.
So I bet you're wondering, what is Seeing the Good? Seeing the Good is a web series that I'm creating where I'm highlighting the good that people are doing in our community, and then we're going to bless them. So in this series, we are going to spotlight about 6 nonprofits, learn about what they're about, where they came from, what they're doing, even in the financial realm, and how they are impacting lives on a daily basis. So join me, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, and then together, we're all going to have a say on how we are going to bless them from the Leela Meacham Fund. I'm excited for us to see the good, do the good, and be the good together. Thank you for joining me.